Powerless by Lauren Roberts.
Powerless Trilogy.
Powerless.
Okay, so if you have been alive for the past 3 years, you probably know what the Powerless Trilogy is by Lauren Roberts. And I have been hearing so much about it, and I finally decided I'm gonna read it because there has to be a reason it's so popular, right? So I decided to look up how many people have read Powerless, and turns out over 722,000 people have read Powerless, and about 14,803 people have rated Powerless as a 5-star book. And so with that in mind, your girl bought all of the books in the Powerless trilogy, including Powerful, which is the novel of her friend, I believe. So I guess it's time to find out why Powerless is so popular. So I finished Powerless and it is so good. The summary of this book, or the whole thing of the book, is so in this kingdom called Ilia has elites, and elites have powers that were given to them from the plague that swept through Ilia, but some people were born without gifts are called ordinaries, and they were banished from the kingdom of Ilia, and they're not allowed in Ilia anymore. And the main character, Payton, she is an ordinary pretending to be a psychic, and she's trying to blend in with the elites and trying not to get caught, because if she does, then she'll get killed or banished. And she steals money from other people to survive in Ilia with her best friend Adina, and she unwittingly, I'm actually just reading the summary of the book, but she unwittingly saves one of Ilia's princes, Kai, and she is thrown into the purging trials, a brutal competition showcasing the elite's powers. So it's kind of like a Hunger Games situation, and she's trying to survive the trials, trying not to be caught that she's an ordinary, and she's this whole thing about her and Kai. Yeah. So this book is basically a mashup of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, Renegades by Marissa Meyer, and Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So just imagine all of those books mashed up together becomes Powerless. I really enjoyed it. It was a very fast-paced book, but one thing I didn't like is some scenes became very repetitive. Like, it felt like a scene was happening over and over again, and a lot of authors use this technique. I don't know what it's called, but it's like, instead of saying he said or she said, they add some kind of action to show that that person is saying that while doing that action. And it's a good way to not say he said, she said, but some authors use it up to an extent that it gets so tedious to read every single action that they're doing. And I just felt like this was one of those books that overused those, but other than that, I felt like it was really good. I just loved the story, and look how pretty this is. I just love the cover. Okay, so the official order of Powerless is Powerless, and then Reckless, and then Fearless, but you were suggested to read Powerful right after you read Powerless, and it's about Adina, Payton's best friend, who is also in Powerful. She sews, that's why there's a needle with thread. And so I think I'm gonna read this. And look at the sprayed edges. That is so pretty. And it comes with a bookmark. Okay, so it's been a couple days and I looked back at the footage that you just saw and I realized I did not give Powerless a rating. So I give Powerless 5 stars. And I do realize that I am very, very generous with my 5 stars. But, you know, you only live once. So, yeah. Also, I went to a water park yesterday, which is why I'm so sunburned. Anyway, back to the video, which is kind of ridiculous because this is the video, but who cares? So I'm gonna start reading Powerful and then I'll tell you how it goes. Okay, so like I said before, it's been a couple days and I have finished Powerful and oh my gosh, it's so sad. It's really, really sad at the end. I have only cried for 3 books in my life and I was getting teary at the end of Powerful. It was so sad. It was really sad, but yes. So Powerful is basically like a backstory. It's like a side story. That's a side story. It's a side story of Adina, Peyton's best friend, and while Peyton is in the purging trial, it's about Adina, what she does, who she meets, wink wink. It's about Adina and Mac. In the purging trials, there are other contestants other than Kai and Peyton. And one of the contestants are Hera, and her cousin Mac is the MMC of Powerful. And so Mac and Adina eventually meet each other and Mac needs Adina's help to get to the castle, meet Hera. Yeah. And so it's just Adina and Mac. Mac hating Adina at first and then them just growing closer together. And yeah, I give Powerful 5 stars. Like I said, generous. Now it's time to read Reckless. Okay guys, don't get mad at me. You know how I said it's been a couple days. It's actually been a week and I already finished Powerful and Reckless both. So I technically did not lie. I was just saying things differently so it goes well with the video. Yes, I did finish Reckless. These are the covers without the book sleeve. No, not book sleeves. Book covers. I don't know what they're called. But these are these books in its raw form. This is Reckless. It's an arrow. Powerless has a star. Powerless has a sword, and Powerful has a needle and thread. And flowers. They all have flowers with them. But so I finished Reckless and it was pretty good. It was giving Lunar Chronicles vibes. Like this entire book was an equivalent to Cress, which is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. Anyway, so this was continuing from Powerful, them traveling a lot. It was pretty boring, to be honest. I was bored. it was just so repetitive, kind of annoying to read, but yeah. So I give Reckless, I give it 4 stars. Yes, it is less than Powerless and Powerful, but it is more boring. So on to Fearless. Okay, guys. You know how I said it's been a few days and then I changed it and it said it's been a week? A lot can happen in a week, right? So I'm a fast reader, okay? I finished like a 200-page book in like 3 hours. So when I said it's been a week, I was not lying. I promise I'm not changing it again. But I also did finish reading Fearless. Okay, but yes, I did finish the entire series in a week. Wow, that has to be a record. And look how thick compared to Reckless. Like, it's nearly double. Powerful is obviously very short. How many pages? Let's see how many pages. 220 exactly. Powerless has 494 pages and Reckless is 337 pages, and Fearless has 588 pages, so it's clearly the thickest book if you can't already tell. But this one, okay, so this one is special. This one deserves its own little thing. Fearless is the conclusion to the series, and it was a good one. It was a good one. I was like giggling because I figured out what happens in the middle of the book. Like, I figured out who was whose child, who was whose parent, whatever, why this person did that, when they did that, who is related to who. I figured it all out in like the middle of the book, so I'm proud of myself. But yeah, when everything cleared up, I was like, I knew it. I twisted. So anyway, Fearless was an epic conclusion to the Powerless trilogy, and I savored it while it lasted. And I am actually really sad, even though I finished all the books, because it's over. I'm just so sad about that. But I'm also sad because I can't ever read the series with like fresh eyes again, and I'm afraid that if I reread it, then I'll get sick of it, you know, and I don't want to get sick of it because it's a good series. I kind of hate reading 5-star reads. It's good. 5-star reads are good, right? But I hate it because I feel like if I read another book that doesn't measure up to that book, then I will never read a good book again. And I hate that feeling, you know? So yeah, that's what I feel like. And yes, I completely moved you guys because I felt like a change of scenery was necessary because we've been sitting here for a very long time. So, conclusion of the Powerless trilogy. Powerless, oh wait, I didn't rate Fearless yet. Fearless gets 5 stars. Yes, 5 stars was necessary for it because it was a 5-star series. So in total, three of the books were 5 stars, and then 1 book was 4 stars, which is really good. So that concludes me reading the Powerless trilogy. Technically, it has like a novel, so it's not, whatever. Powerless trilogy. So I guess I'll see you guys in another video, and yeah, I'll see if I can find another 5-star series.